In flood-hit southern inland Queensland, St George residents are tonight returning to their homes. Further west in Mitchell, the clean-up is well underway after the town's first major flood in recent history. Reporter Kieran McKechnie spent the week in Mitchell.
We've been very stressed, we haven't been able to sleep. It's been terrible.
Mitchell Bakers Kyle and Fiona Mansfield are facing the collapse of everything they've ever worked for. The damage the big flood left when it tore through their bakery was brutal. The young couple is overwhelmed by the enormity of what they've lost.
Loss of products, loss of income. We employ 15 people, they've all got no money coming in.
Not to mention like all the stock, all the freezers goods, all the flour, counters, everything. Like the machines are our biggest worry right now because they're what's going to hold us back.
The Mansfields are a big local employer and even service bigger towns like Roma. But with the damage bill of $500,000, they're now facing ruin, unlikely to get a payout on their insurance.
They just said that there's no way we'd be covered for flood.
They're not alone. Few here are covered by insurance. This is Mitchell's first major flood. Most didn't think they'd ever need floods cover.
There's going to be a lot of broke people here.
Adrian Mansfield is Kyle and Fiona's aunt. She and her husband run the local servo.
The water just came down that fast, it was here before we knew it.
Devastating, especially when we saw it the first morning and all the driveway was gone. It was just, you look at it and you don't know where to start.
Across the road and round the corner is the pub. Merv Yarrow came here 6 years ago, building his business up from nothing.
Just a big loss, yeah. Probably got over $100,000 worth of stock that's probably ruined.
You can see the shock in his face, yet he's stoic.
We got it up and running from nothing then, and so we'll do it again.
It's businesses like his that are the lifeblood of this town, but it's the people who make it. All over Mitchell, flood victims are mopping up their muddied homes, throwing out their no longer valuables. Yet you don't hear too many complaints about the cruel card they've been dealt.
We had our sobby minute, now we just got to get on and clean up, go with the flow.
Some even take comfort in these strange post-disaster conditions.
Yeah, you get tired. At the end of the day, you're drinking a bit of a barbie, and in the main street, it's just barbies all the way along. Everyone sort of keep the morale going.
One of the things that has struck me over the many times that I've covered floods is how the natural disasters bring communities together. And Mitchell is no different. We're seeing neighbour helping neighbour to help clean up the town.
But that's the sort of place Mitchell is very supportive. The community's great, very close-knit.
The wider area around Mitchell is close-knit too, and even in isolation, flooded landholders are looking out for one another.
Some people you can't talk to yet by phone, they've got no phone service, and UHF radios only go so far, obviously. But we've been able to contact most people and assess their well-being, and some people are coping pretty well.
The flood has certainly taken its toll on grazing land. Fences are down, sheds and machinery are sodden. Cattle is stranded in the sea that's spread across the southwest. Grazier Robert Lethbridge will tell you just how astounding this flood was. He's never seen anything like it in his 65 years on the land.
This river started to roar, and having lived on it for 65 years, I do know the river, but I didn't after it got up to those unforgiving heights.
Unforgiving is a word most locals would use. In a flood that's shaken the community here and has set a new precedent, the old battle metaphors once again seem fitting.
It looks like a war zone. You'd think that we'd have some kind of a war here.
Certainly Mitchell has been locked in a battle with the elements, but late this week the army arrived to bolster numbers in the town's fight to rebuild. The troops have been brought in for their brute force, but they've also brought a gentle touch.
I lost all my jewellery. Did you? I'll find it.
Theirs is a methodical approach to the clean-up. Street by street, house by house, they're working their way through the debris, helping locals bring their town back to life.
To think they've got all this help. Terrific.
Definitely. Everyone's been helping each other, but it's great to have some outside help too.
Despite the khaki reinforcements, no one's under any illusions about the job ahead of them. It's going to take some tough months to get Mitchell back on its feet.